Bienvenidos a la Viña Concha y Toro, a nuestra casona de Pirque.
Now we will move to the tasting, what we have called these icon wine tastings.
Quebrada Seca is not an appellation, but it is a tiny area located in the northwest part of Limarí, very close to Tongoy Bay. Chardonnay is a delicate variety that needs soil or good soil to support the structure, especially red clay. And red clay gives structure, and if you want to find some minerality, of course the soil needs to give something or give minerality through the calcium carbonate that you could find in the soils. So this Quebrada Seca that came from 1.5 hectares present good minerality and also good structures. This Chardonnay, the fermentation is a really classic fermentation. It's picked by hand. The tons are not really high. We are talking about 6 tons per hectare, 6.5 tons per hectare. We pick by hand. We bring to the cellar as soon as possible, in Limarí, of course. So I hope that the wine, you like it, and thank you very much.
It was top, finesse, elegance, fruitiness, complexity, the right acidity, and a superb presentation in the complete line of the tasting.
I'm really glad to be here presenting my Ocio Pinot Noir. In the color, it shows a really nice ruby red and black color with nice freshness and nice intensity. And in the palate, it reminds me a lot of the black and red fruit. Raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, plums, but mainly cherries. And in the palate, it shows a really nice concentration, which is quite particular from the Chilean fruit, the Chilean Pinot Noir. We did a hand picking of the grape in small cases of 11 kilograms each. All the extraction of the color, the tannins, the acidity is made by push down. We are not using pine pinover. It's all made by hand in a really soft way. Okay, so I hope you enjoy the wine.
In Peumo, we are very close to two very important sources of elements that mild the temperatures. One is the Cachapoal River, and the other is the Rappel Reservoir or Rappel Lake. We consider that Peumo is a really very good place, not because only the soils that are formed by the old terraces from the former course of the Cachapoal River and alluvials, by the way, but it's because all these things. What we are doing with the Carmin de Peumo is the 05, by the way, is 91% Carmenere, block 32, 25% Cabernet Franc, and 6.5% Cabernet Sauvignon.
I must say I really enjoyed the Carmin de Peumo, just because I do think that Carmenere is a very unique grape, and that how it's developing in Chile is even more unique.
We think that biodynamics help us to express the real character of the place, because it's a type of agriculture that is less standardized, less or non-homologation inside. So we can preserve the identity of the place, of the conditions of the soil and the climate, the more unique. For G, we didn't want to make a wine from a single variety, in the same idea to express the character of a place more than the identity of a variety. We wanted to produce a wine that can be a blend, and more than that, express the personality, the identity, the individuality of that farm. So we blended the varieties that are growth there in the best conditions. And I think G for us is the real expression of what a biodynamic wine wants to show: individuality, personality, character.
Produced under the French concept of Grand Cru, Almaviva is first of all the result of the encounter between two cultures, in which Chile offers its wonderful natural conditions, its soil, its climate, its vineyard, the wonderful vineyard of Puente Alto, while France contributes with its tradition and its winemaking and viticulture know-how, savoir-faire. Puente Alto terroir is also tightly influenced by the climate incidences of the neighboring Andes that moderates the heats of the day and refresh the nights in summer. We have some good vintage, some very good vintage, and some exceptional vintage like 2007. And when the vintage is good, it ferments well. Everything enters in the winery in a very progressive way. In terms of winemaking, that was almost a dream.
The porous nature of the soil yields weakly growing vines with a limited number of grape clusters. It results in bunches that are concentrated in color, aromas, and flavors. If you regard the growing season in 06 and 07, I can say it was a great vintage. It was a wonderful vintage. The rest of the history during the vinification process was to extract carefully all the potential from the grapes from Puente Alto vineyard in order to express the finesse, complexity, and concentration from the Puente Alto Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, finally, we can taste the wine, but you are so professional and sommelier competitor. So only I would like to say that this particular vintage express all the terroir from Puente Alto, the weather, the soil, and the vineyard well balanced. Thank you.
Estos 6 vinos que acabamos de degustar creo que demuestran la potencialidad y la fuerza que tiene Viña Concha y Toro al permitir que más de 50 países con sus respectivos sommeliers estén presentes acá en nuestra viña experimentando algo que es realmente único, que son 6 de los mejores vinos de Chile con sus respectivos enólogos.
It was a great tasting and wonderful to have the winemakers there and to be able to talk to us about their babies.
I think the Carmin de Peumo is absolutely outstanding. I really like finally a Chardonnay with minerality like Quebrada Seca. I really like Don Melchor because I think it's one of the classical ones in the Chilean way and the Chilean style.
Oh, the tasting was absolutely fantastic. We had a huge privilege because we were able to taste all these amazing wines all together, and furthermore we were able to hear the remarks and the history behind the wines told by the people who were working on making those wines every single day during that vintage.
What I liked the most, more than the wines were great, they show very well. I think it was a great day for the wines. The professionalism that they show in all the performance of the tasting since the beginning and till the end was just perfect.